All right, it's Tuesday, and you know what time it is. It's Ten Toes Tuesday. So, that the topic tonight is how I snapped my toe in half. This was this was 2012, 2013, and I have been taking Muay Thai, but my crew and the guy who ran the gym, they had closed that gym down and they had now gone down to a gym in downtown Columbus. It was a good gym, old school, really old school, because in the middle of the gym, to heat the gym, was a wood burning fireplace. But before we get into all of that, go ahead and hit that thummy thingy up or down if you could for me. Subscribe. Again, it costs you nothing. The thumb thugging, we try not to do that here. If you want to leave a negative comment, um, you'll be left on read. You can thumb thug away. I'm not answering it. I don't have time for it. I really have no time for it. So, with that being said, let's get back into the story. Hold on, let me get a drink of water before we start this. I'm still under the weather. I'm a little bit tired. I didn't want to do this today, but I like these 10 Toes Tuesdays. I want to continue them, and just because I'm sick does not mean that I don't get on here and give my 10 Toes Tuesday. So, the gym opened up. It had been open for about 6 months. It was a longer trip for me to go down there, but my crew, PyTech, talked to the boxing coach, said, "Hey, Big Unk wants to come down here, train for the Arnold. We're going to do the Arnold together." I said, "All right." Same thing applied. It was 20, $30 a month for me to come down there and train. And he would train me and get me ready for the Arnold. At that time, PyTech was not down there teaching Muay Thai. PyTech was off trying to become a law enforcement officer. So he really didn't have the time. The guy who trained PyTech had gone over, and if you have heard of Buakaw, you know who I'm talking about. Well, the guy who trained PyTech went over to train Buakaw at one point in time to help him get better at boxing for upcoming fight. When he trained Buakaw then gave him these shorts, Muay Thai shorts that he had trained in. They had fought in some, but he had these shorts. It had a big rose on it, had his name on it. It was confirmed. There was pictures with him, and it was verified that he had trained Buakaw. Well, I started training with them. Small world, right? To start off training, you did some jump rope. I think that was like 5 minutes. You did some stretching, and then you got in the ring. This particular night, we had been training for a couple of weeks, and this particular night, we were doing these throws. Now, I told you I'm good with my kicks, and I'm good with my elbows. All of these are professional fighters, though. I am not a professional fighter. I am a very much amateur fighter. However, I was keeping up with him. He was really fast, but I was able to keep up with him. What we were doing was this clinch, and if you know anything about Muay Thai, we were doing this clinch, and then when you clinched, you did a throw. And we would do some pad work, and every time I would miss a movement, I had to do some push-ups, or I had to do another exercise as punishment until it clicks in your brain. Step 1, step 2, step 3, all these in sequence, and then your brain reacts to whatever number they call out. So at first they go 1, 2, 3, and then they might go 3, 2, 1, or 2, 2, 2, or whatever the sequence was, and you had to keep up with that. Well, we were doing these throws that night, and off of the clinch. So we clinched up, and he's he would get me and throw me. It was really quick movement, and I'm trying to counter and learn what he's doing. On this one particular throw, he grabs me, and it was a really nice clean throw. He threw me, and I spun in the air. You know how you see those characters on the movie and an action movie, they'll kind of spin in the air and they'll spin around, and then they land and get up, and either they're shooting a gun or they keep fighting. It was kind of like that. Except this time, when I landed in a push-up position, and I felt something pop in my toe. I'm laughing. I roll over to get back up, and it was my right leg. My right leg comes like this, but my toe went this way, and I'm seeing this now. At first, it was fast, but it went in slow motion. So my toe is this way, and my leg kind of goes over, and I just kind of sat there for a minute. It's like I don't think I saw what I saw. I'm not believing that I actually saw my toe go this way and my foot go this way. So I looked to the left to see if my toe was on the left side of the mat. It wasn't. I didn't feel any pain at that time. And then I looked down, and my toe was bent to the left and half severed from the other toe. It was hanging on. I immediately stopped laughing, but I still didn't feel any pain, and it wasn't bleeding. My coach said, "Hey, just sit there. Let me go grab something. I'll be right back, and then we'll assess what's going on." So he goes. He gets some bandages. He has this look on his face. He gets some bandages. He gets some socks. And now I have on my compression socks. And the compression socks, if you don't know, it's like a regular pair of socks, but they have this little hole in the back that your heel sticks out of, and it compresses your foot and your ankle. And they hold on. I think that is one of the things that kept it from just squirting blood everywhere, but it still didn't hurt. So he goes, he bandages up my toe. And he puts a sock on it, and then I put these slides on, and he says, "Where are your keys? We're gonna go to the hospital. Everybody just stay really calm." He said, "Can you stand?" I said, "Yeah, I can stand." So stood up. He grabbed my right side, and I put my arm around him, and we walked out to the car. Now, at this time, I have a VR6, and I love that little Volkswagen VR6. It was fast, little hatchback, loved it. Black tinted windows. It was a beautiful car. He couldn't drive stick, so he's grinding my gears all the way up to the hospital. I'm thinking more about my gears grinding and hoping he doesn't burn out my clutch than about my toe at that point in time. So we get to the hospital, park the car. They take me in the emergency room, wheel me in, and I immediately go back. And it was fascinating to people. I don't know why, to learn that I was training for the Arnold, snapped my toe in half. So a lot of nurses came in. "Oh, you're training for the Arnold. You're fight." "Yeah, I am. That's it's not bad." But I called my brother. So this is the one part where he always he always held me down. It's the middle of the night now. It's probably 11 o'clock, uh, and I called him and said, "Hey, I need some help." Woke him up out of a dead sleep. I need some help. Snapped my toe in half. I am at such and such hospital. Uh, he said, "Say less, cuz one." Boom. He hangs up the phone. He comes up there. We're sitting in there. We're laughing and talking. Toe still does not hurt. They haven't given me anything. No pain, anything like that, until this nurse comes in. She says, "We're going to box your toe." I'm like, okay, that's fine. What is this? A little shot, and I hate shots. I hate needles. And I said, all right, is it going to hurt? She said, no, it's not gonna hurt too bad. We just need to box it. You know, you're a fighter. You'll be okay. All right, okay. Let's go ahead. It has to be done. Let's go ahead and box this toe. So my brother comes over, and I'm wondering why he's coming over. He grabs me. He's like, "Hey, just hang on to me." And immediately there was pain. She's jabbing and she's looking at me. And I'm like, "Oh, you raggedy bitch! Oh man, you told me this wasn't gonna hurt. You're enjoying this, aren't you? You're enjoying this, aren't you?" And my brother, he has this deep voice, and he's just like, "Hey, just calm down, man. It'll be all right. Just calm down. It'll be all right." So, all right, I said, I don't want you anywhere near me after this. You need to go and get another nurse. This was not cool. You should have just told me so I could brace for it. What they ended up doing was they took me into surgery and they sewed my toe back on. They put this little shim or splint or something and a this mesh like fabric around it. And they sewed my toe back on, and then they wrapped it in a bandage. And they didn't tell me that I would have to relearn to walk, and that it would be excruciating pain. So they gave me a lot of Oxy or Vicodin or something. I had to take those every 4 hours. Blessing was, and I told you guys, you already heard about my brother, and you've heard about Pig. But Pig and my coworkers, they were the blessing, because if they did not help me in the way that they did, I would have lost both jobs. I worked two jobs, still work two jobs pretty much, but I worked two jobs at that time, and I was a key holder, night manager at Advance Auto, and then during the day, uh, I do IT. And so, in order for me to continue doing that and to get full paychecks, um, Pig, my other best friend, Pickles, there were a few other people that would pick me up from my house on crutches in the morning, in the middle of winter, and they would drive me to work. And then somebody else would take me back home. When I got home, I would change out of the IT uniform and change into my advanced uniform. And somebody would then, they allowed someone to come from the store to pick me up to close. And I had this little scooter thing. You know those little one leg scooters you see people with the little leg cast, they go around, they scoot back and forth. I had one of those. I'd scoot around the store and get auto parts and clothes and count the money and stuff like that. After the store closed, somebody would come and pick me up and take me back home, and then the process would repeat all over again. They did this. People did this for about 3 months, um, and after 3 months and weekly checkups, they helped take me to my checkups. I mean, I was really blessed. I'm still really blessed. Um, I try not to be an asshole, even though I am. But I have some really good friends that know my character and what I'm about, and they try to help me out in every way they possibly can. And I never try to abuse the blessings that I am given. So this was 3 or 4 months, and I have stick shift. Well, at the time, had stick shift cars, and so some people would have to drive my cars. Luckily, I made sure they could drive stick. But this went on for that 3 months, and then another 3 months before I could get up and walk. And I had no physical therapy. Um, they took the bandages off. I had to wear this little. I had to be careful with the shoes that I chose at that time. I had to have some low clearance shoe, and it had to have a wide box, and it couldn't touch the top, or it made me like shiver, and it would start to hurt. It would rub up against it. It took about 9 months for my toenail to grow back, and it took um, almost another 4 to 5 months for me to relearn how to walk. So it was an ordeal. Um, I'm blessed that I just snapped that toe in half. That nothing else happened. That I had some decent insurance. Um, all of that helped at the time. And I don't know if any of these. I know some people are watching that helped me out. That, and again, I don't make this stuff up. That'll verify that this is what happened. They drove me back and forth. Unfortunately, my brother is no longer with us, so he can't be on here and be the funny man. He called me Toby Bryant and stuff like that. But we laughed throughout most of the situation, and I tried to give gas money and things during work hours. Pig would help me make breakfast. Pickles would help me make breakfast. There was people. I just I feel really blessed. But I that's where this 10 Toes Tuesday comes from. Because if you stand 10 toes down and you stand for something, and uh, people recognize that, and people are more apt to help you in that type of situation. And so all of those people stood 10 toes down with me, because I will always stand 10 toes down with my family and friends. Even though I am a complete dick sometimes, you know that when it's time to ride, I will ride with you unless you're absolutely wrong. And then we're going to have a talk first before I ride. Um, but I'll still semi ride with you, but you're gonna get an earful first. My brother would tell you that, but I digress. I've been rambling a little bit. That is one of the things that happened in my life. It's been a good life, but I think that deserves a 10 Toes Tuesday, as it respectfully relates to my toe, and it it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot, learning how to walk again, and be in bandages and laid up for a little bit. It taught me a lot, and it taught me who my friends were, and that there are really some truly genuine people still in this world. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm not flailing around and trying to do all this entertainment thing. I'm telling you a real story that really happened. And with that, always stand 10 toes down. Big Unc, You know what's gonna go on. Big Unk out.